So first up, I'm taking the new Laura Mercier Pure Canvas Primer. I highly recommend this primer if you have really dry skin. It's nice and lightweight, but it makes your skin feel really hydrated without being like too heavy on it. Then I'm taking the Purlisse BB cream. I love this BB cream. It makes your skin look really dewy, but it has a nice coverage and it doesn't leave your skin looking cakey, but again, it leaves your skin looking nice and hydrated, which will leave your skin just looking newer, fresher, younger. I love it. This is a medium. Then I'm taking Estee Lauder Double Wear. I found this in the back of my concealer dresser that I've been trying to clean out, and I forgot how much I liked it. You're gonna see me zoom in the camera a few different times because I really want you guys to see what I'm doing. So I'm drawing this line down my nose, and this is gonna look really defined once I add the darker shade. And then I'm kind of bringing it around into like a C or like a half moon, but I'm not going above like my natural crease. So you can see where almost the darker shade is, like that shaded area on top of this lighter area. That's where I'm gonna add the darker colors. And then I'm just gonna fluff it out because I'm just gonna let it sit for a minute. I learned this technique from like Kim Kardashian and Kylie's makeup artist on YouTube, and I love what she does. She kind of lets it set and dry for a minute so it doesn't really move. So what I'm going to do is then I'm going to also take that line from my lip and draw it up into like the middle of my ear to kind of start making more of a cheekbone. Then I'm going to add a little bit up in the middle of my forehead so it always looks like light's hitting me right there, and then down. So then I'm just taking my blender. I think this is Real Techniques. I've had this for years. You guys, if you scroll back to like my first videos, I've had this. That's how good these are, and they're only like 10 bucks. So it's lasted me years. So I'm just pushing that into my skin. I don't even think this one is really that wet. I like mine personally not that wet just because right now I feel like I need as much coverage I could get. My skin is just, it's not horrible, but it's not the best it's a look, so I just want a lot of coverage. But if you don't need as much coverage, I would use water. So it just depends what your skin is doing. So next up, I'm going to take the Born This Way concealer. I used a shade too dark. I ended up taking this color off and going with a lighter shade. I believe this one's mahogany, and then I went with almond, or maybe it's almond. I don't know, but I'll leave the actual one that I used down in the description. And then I'm just going to basically put those dark colors like in my cheeks. You'll see I'm putting it into my chin. Then I'm going to take this Real Techniques stiffling brush and I'm going to start blending it all out. And just take your time with this. If you feel like you use too much, just keep blending and letting the brush take off that concealer for you. And basically what I'm going to do is I'm just going to blend it all out. You could see it's starting to be really defined, and I know it's going to look a little crazy. I kind of wanted to show you guys close up and zoomed in. Wait, no, zoomed in and zoomed out so you could see that it's looking a little wild. So you're going to see me go back in with another concealer that is kind of in the middle of the two shades, because the first concealer that I used was really light. So this is like a nice medium shade. I'm going to put this a little bit lower, like on my higher cheekbones, and I'm going to put it again underneath that brown tan color, and this is going to help everything transition so it's not really harsh and defined. It's just going to make it look really smooth. And then I'm just going to take another beauty blender and just kind of push that all in my skin, and you're going to see what a transformation that makes. It just all looks much better, and right here it'll start looking a little sharper. So if you don't want it to look as sharp, you can marry the two and make them closer together when you blend, or you could leave that sharp line there like that if you'd rather be more cut. I think this time I might leave it a little bit more cut just because I'm going for something a little bit more dramatic, but it's totally up to you what you're in the mood for. You never know. But here you guys can see me just playing with it and blending it. Just really take your time when you're doing this, just so you know that you're not making it all muddy and crazy. It just takes practice, to be honest with you. And here you're going to see I'm going to take a nice little flat brush, and that's where I'm going to add that tanner concealer right over top where I put that light concealer, and then I'm going to bring it into my eyebrow, and I'm going to bring it right over top of where I put that light concealer, like where I did that side C type of thing. And again, I learned this from another professional makeup artist, and it made such a difference in the contour, especially if you have fake eyebrows like me. It just made your eyebrows look more like they had more definition to them instead of so flat. So here I'm just taking some setting powder by Dermablend Pro. I love this setting powder. They have the best powders, especially for people like me with dry skin. I've been saying it forever. I don't normally bake, but I can bake with this one. It won't leave me looking like creasy underneath. It's just really, really good powder. And then I'm going to kind of put it again in my lighter spots, but then you're going to see me kind of take whatever is left over on this brush from earlier, this big puffy brush, and I'm just going to start blending it all together. And then I add just a teeny tiny bit when I feel like I need a little more, and just put it even over all like the darker spots. This is going to set everything in place and keep that concealer from going from liquidy to matte and dry. So here I'm just using a little bronzer. I picked one up from the Urban Decay Threesome palettes. It's in Rise, but they're all the bronzers are the same. And then I'm going to take this shade from Morphe. It's a blush. It's called Provocative. I love it. It's got a nice peachy, orangey undertone. I love that if you have a more olive complexion. And it just makes your face look really pretty. And then I'm going to add a little to the forehead, and it just makes you look really sun-kissed. So this is my intense cream contour that I do if I'm going out for the night and I really want my makeup to last. But it's not something I would wear every single day, all day, because it's a lot of makeup. It's heavy, but it does look flawless in photos. I really hope you guys like this video, and I hope it helps you guys. If you guys have any questions, let me know. Don't forget to subscribe and like, and I'll see you soon.